Okay, thank you for asking about this, because yes, I can see that it may not be super clear what I mean by that. So let's say you have been doing the affirmations for a while, you're super clean in your mental diet, you're really not thinking in opposition to what you want, and you're generally not reacting to circumstances, yet you find yourself getting triggered. Maybe a memory pops up for you that reminds you of something your SP did, or you dream about them, you're getting triggered through dreams, you're feeling like all these horrible feelings through your dreams, or you're seeing circumstances and you're finding it super hard at times not to react. These are all triggers, right? These are all triggers that you need to pay attention to. Again, I say this after you've done the work, because you're going to be possibly full of triggers when you're starting the work. So there's no point in trying to address them at that point. What you want to address is at a later stage, when you find yourself getting triggered despite doing the work. And this is when, let's say you experience a trigger whereby you remember something that your SP did, even though you've been really affirming for yourself, you're affirming for your SP, but you can't forget this one thing they did. You're getting triggered by it. Technically, if you've been doing all the work, that will not be a trigger for you anymore. But the fact that you're getting emotionally triggered in some way, you're feeling bothered, it means there might be an assumption that is charged, that needs to be released. This charged assumption is something that has a lot of emotions tied to it. So what you would say in such a situation is, what assumptions must I have about myself, about the other person, or about circumstances in general to be causing me to manifest this emotional trigger? Because again, this is a manifestation. And you will get the answer. So for example, you feel that I'm not prioritized, or I'm not respected. I feel not respected. That's the assumption that is coming up. You say, well, I'm feeling this way because I feel I'm not prioritized or I'm not respected. These are just examples. And when you recognize that that is the assumption behind the trigger, you will say, okay, I'm no longer identifying with that, and I'm releasing it. You have to understand that as you impress so many new affirmations and new assumptions and a new story into your subconscious mind, your subconscious mind might start do a spring cleaning of some sort. That's what we call a purge. So it's like kind of saying, well, do you want this? Shall I keep this, or shall I throw it out? So this trigger is bringing to your conscious awareness a long-held assumption that is super emotionally charged, and it's telling you, you know what, you really need to let this one go. Because you have to understand that when you impress things into your subconscious mind, repetition is enough, but sometimes the emotional aspect of it is keeping that undesired assumption within you, and the way you can release it is just bringing it to your conscious awareness. That's all that it is. So by bringing it to your conscious awareness, suddenly you feel super light. You feel, oh, I feel so much better, because now I recognize what the assumption I was making about myself in relation to this situation, and you can let it go. And if you're able to let it go, you'll feel light, you'll feel good, you'll feel super light. If you're not able to let it go, it means you have not derived the actual assumption. Again, if you're doing this too soon in the process, it means you need to go back and do your affirmations around self-concept. That's the only reason you would not feel light. Either you didn't bring up the correct assumption, or you still have not solidified your self-concept, which means you have to go back and affirm and affirm and affirm and affirm. When you've been doing that, you will feel light when you let it go. That's the release. There's nothing more to do. I hope this really hits home and makes sense to you.